Hey everyone, I'm Drew Holcomb, and these are my Marquee memories. So we got invited to open for Don Henley, which, as a big fan of the Eagles, this was sort of a big moment for us. We get to the venue, we're in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. As I'm setting up my guitar rig, the security guy comes, taps me on the shoulder, and he says, "Are you Mr. Holcomb?" And I said, "I am." And he said, "Mr. Henley would like to say hello." And I thought, okay, great. So I turn around thinking I'm about to be taken somewhere. And there's Don Henley 3 feet in front of me. And he says, "Hey, you Drew?" I said, "Yes, sir, Mr. Henley, I am." Years earlier, I released a music video where I'm wearing a banana suit. He said, "We're glad to have you." And I said, "Well, I'm quite honored. Thanks for sharing your stage with us." He said, "Now tell me, that video with you in the banana suit, did you come up with that?" And all of a sudden I'm thinking to myself, I'm talking to Don Henley of the Eagles about wearing a banana suit in a music video. So he said, "Yeah, my kids and I, we love that music video. Thanks for coming." And then he turns around and leaves. And that was my interaction with Don Henley. Great show that night. His audience was incredible. But to see my name in the marquee with one of the Eagles and to get to have this sort of bizarre interaction with him about a banana suit was pretty much a top 10 highlight of my career. So it's 2006. I've been married for 3 weeks. My wife and I are dead broke. Then we see that Tom Waits announces a show at the Ryman Auditorium. The Ryman is my favorite venue in the world. I get online to get the tickets on Ticketmaster. I get 2 tickets immediately, and then my browser dies. I lose the tickets. I lose my spot in line. Tickets are gone, and now I'm definitely not going to see Tom Waits. Sad about it, angry about it. Fast forward 3 months, and we got a late wedding present of $100 the night of the show. So my wife says to me, "Why don't you go by yourself and see if you can get a ticket for $100? So I make a t-shirt. It says, "Real fan, need tickets, please help." And I'm standing out in front of the Ryman Auditorium. All these professional scalpers are out there selling tickets for $400 or $500. This older woman comes up to me and she says, "Okay, name 5 Tom Waits songs." I'm sure I named Picture in a Frame, Tom Trobert's Blues, Old 55, Rain Dogs, and a bunch of others. I tried to spread them out sort of throughout the record so she knew it wasn't just like a casual fan. She says, "Well, you don't seem like a creep. Would you like to go to the concert with me?" I said, "I would love to." I said, "How much do I owe you?" She goes, "Just face value, $50. And I said, "Well, can I buy you a drink?" She goes, "I don't drink." I said, "Okay, great." I call my wife, again, been married for five or 6 weeks. I said, "Ellie, I'm on a date with another woman, but no need to worry. It's all good." We get in there. Not only did she have tickets, she had 4th row seats to see Tom Waits at the Ryman. She knew Tom Waits' music even more than I did, and it was absolutely my favorite concert I've ever been to, and I've been to probably 1,000 concerts. It was such a cool moment of 2 strangers experiencing something very unique and special together, and sort of she didn't even really want to connect the dots and stay in touch. She was like, "Nope, this was our night. We saw Tom Waits together. Have a great life. I'll see you on the other side." That was in 2006. I don't think he's played a show since that tour. And those of us who were lucky enough to be in the room to watch him do it live, it's something I'll carry with me the rest of my life. I went on a trip to Scotland to see U2. A friend of mine said, "Hey, U2 is coming to Glasgow. You should come back over, visit all your old friends, and go to the show." While we're sitting there waiting, he says, "All right, if you could get one U2 song guaranteed in the set tonight, what would it be?" Well, that's not the point. You pick something obvious. Well, there's a song from Achtung Baby called "Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses" that was my favorite song. But being a bit of a U2 junkie, I knew that the last time they played that song was on the Achtung Baby tour, 1988, 89, 90, whenever that record came out. So I knew it wasn't gonna happen. And about an hour and a half into the set, Bono says, "We haven't played this song since the Achtung Baby tour." And then the Edge goes, "Da-dum," and then the toms start coming in, boom, 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 boom. It says, "You're dangerous, 'cause you're honest." And I lose my mind. And I could tell, out of the 90,000 people, Bono, the Edge, they knew that I was coming. And they wanted to hear that song just for me. At least that's what I told myself. It was one of my sort of highlight concert memories of my life. I also recently got to see them honored at the Kennedy Center. We got to go to the show because my wife was friends with one of the other honorees, Amy Grant. Just a beautiful full circle moment for me as a fan. They're a rare breed. They don't make them like they used to, as they say. Thanks for listening to my Marquee memories. Catch me on tour to make some of your own.